So this is an import inspection for bulbs coming in from the Netherlands. These eventually get planted. The import inspection that they get from the USDA is pretty high level, very high level. And so we like to try to give a little once over of the stuff that comes in just to make sure that all the bulbs look good and the plants will be healthy when they get planted. We look for soft spots and gray spots of the bulbs themselves. That's going to be indicative to many fungal infections, botrytis, for example. And I also like to tap them against a black notebook or something, because then I can see if there are any mites. And I'll see them move around. The mites are white or clear, and they show up really well in my black notebook, and I can see them pretty well if they're moving around. And if I do see them, I can get out my hand lens and kind of take a better look at them if I want to know what they are. There's always going to be a small level of mites, for example. They came from the dirt. These are not like laboratory grown. A small amount of stuff is not an issue. If I find a bigger problem, we'll restrict it, and the company can either treat or throw them out. But typically, if I find an issue, it might only be with like one variety, and maybe that one variety gets restricted, or we tell them to treat the bulbs or the plants or whatever it is I'm looking at before they're planted. We want to make sure that the plants that they're planting are healthy and they're not spreading diseases around, because if you're planting a bunch of bulbs in your garden that have rot, that can spread to other plants in your garden, and then all of a sudden you have a dead garden. It's very important because we're protecting the industry. If we can stop a serious invasive pest, or even a non-invasive but a serious pest from coming in, it can stop it from spreading. It can stop the negative economic impacts of any diseases we bring in. If we can catch it early by doing import inspections like this, we're not going to have like an incident like we have with hemlock woolly diligent with our hemlock trees, or emerald ash borer. That's affected both the timber and the nursery and the natural environment. So if we can stop that from happening by doing these types of inspections, it's going to be beneficial. It's a big community effort. We try to do our part to make sure that the bulbs coming in are nice and healthy, so then when they are planted by the city, they won't be spreading disease, they won't be spreading mites, because they'll be nice and healthy.